What's up, tea drinkers? Who's ready to spill? Welcome to the Tea with KG, hosted by your girl, Kaylee Grace. Here you'll find your weekly boost of real talk mixed with laughter, healing, and all of those vulnerable, messy moments in between. The Tea with KG is a safe space for you to show up exactly as you are. We are here to share real-life stories from around the globe and be a community of love, joy, and celebrating life. This is a real deal show, so there will be coarse language and sensitive topics discussed. The most beautiful stories oftentimes emerge from the darkest of places, and we're here to explore it all. There's room for everyone at this tea time, so grab your drink of choice, spark it up, or just relax and soak it up. Cheers, and let's spill. What's up, tea drinkers? We are back with another episode of the Tea with KG. I'm your host, Kaylee Grace, and I am joined by another amazing guest this week, the lovely Amanda Brooks. I'm so excited to have you.
Hi, Kaylee. I'm so excited to be here. Really, thank you so much for thinking of me to be on here. I listened to all your other episodes and I'm like, man, she's so good. So I'm very, truly grateful and honored that you wanted me to be a part of this.
Of course, I'm so excited. I mean, I already know a lot of the goods with the story, but I'm so excited to share that with others because it's such a beautiful, impactful story. And I love the work you're doing. And I just can't wait to share your love and your light with the world. It's just amazing. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course.
Yay! So Amanda and I met through F45 North Van. We like to work out and keep fit and honor our bodies. And we connected really quickly and easily. It was just one of those natural, I immediately was like, I just want to hug you. I just was like, I need to hug this girl. Like I could feel it.
Oh my gosh, 100%. That session where we had to pick a new partner or whatever it was like some part of the challenge, I think, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, Kaylee, that's my girl. I want to work out with her. We saw you, we talked, fine, hi, how are you? Good morning. And you can feel people's energies, right? You can feel when you're going to connect with someone. And I say this to people who are now my closest friends. I'm like, when I met you, I was like, I'm going to make that girl be my friend. And sure enough.
I don't know. So true.
My friend.
Yeah.
Now, right? So you just get a feeling when you meet people. It's wild and it's really cool.
Oh, 100%. I'm such a firm believer in that too. And even the way we work out, we both push so hard. We're like, all right, let's do this. And even I loved it because you challenged me because I was still pretty new to the studio. And you were like, you can do this. Try this. Go a little heavier. I was like, okay. And we did.
You definitely weren't working out together. Remember, I'd be yelling at you across the room.
Yeah.
Hey, pick up that heavier weight.
I loved it. I was like, okay. I loved it so much. And that was such a great thing, especially in an atmosphere like that when that community gets built and you feel comfortable and you're like, okay, cool. I have friends here. So it was super nice. I loved it so much.
Totally. And it is all about community and connection, in every aspect of life. And I love that we met in that environment.
Me too. I do too so much. Thanks, Karen and Nick. We'll give them a shout out too. Yeah, those are the studio owners, just so anyone who isn't aware. So we'll dive right in. We'll get the who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, so I am a registered meditation teacher and I'm also a certified yoga teacher. So I built a business called the Third Eye Butterfly.
So amazing. Also, anyone who's not watching and listening, her background right now, it's the most beautiful tapestry with it literally is everything I think of when I hear the Third Eye Butterfly. It's beautiful. So if you want to go to YouTube and see it, it's there.
It's wild, Kaylee, because I was looking for something to put on this wall because it was just a blank white wall. I used to have a cabinet with 17 wine glasses in it. And I'm like, I live by myself in the studio. I can't even fit 17 people in here, right? So got rid of the cabinet, just a big blank white wall. I'm like, I need to put something there. And I went on Amazon and I just searched wall tapestries. And literally, I think it was the third thing that came up. And I just looked at it and I was like,
wow.
Are you freaking kidding me right now? this is me on a wall.
Totally. 100%. It's gorgeous. I love it.
Anyway, yeah, so the third eye butterfly business name, and it's kind of a funny story actually how I came up with that name, if you want to hear it, just really quick.
Yes, of course. I love these stories.
When I was trying to figure out the name, I was talking to a girlfriend of mine who's in marketing and communications. Her name's also Kaylee. And I said, I don't know how to. Yeah.
That is so funny.
It's a thing. I said, I don't know how to pick up a name. And she said, well, what resonates with you? Like when you think of yourself, what is like your thing?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, butterflies, the moon, and the color pink.
Yes.
And she said, okay, well, like try and like combine that. And I'm like, okay. And at first I really wanted the mindful butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
But that was taken on like all channels, right? And my other girlfriend, she's like, what about the conscious butterfly? I'm like, girl, I cannot even spell the word conscious. Like that's misspelled website on the planet. And I'm racking my brain. And, you know, part of the story is always like, stop trying to figure it out, give it up to the universe, and it'll come to you when you're paying attention.
100%.
So I'm like, okay, not about it anymore. Putting it out to the universe, and it'll come to me. So I sit down on my couch, and I turn the TV on, and I look up at my other wall, and I literally have a picture in a frame, and it says, I have 3 eyes, 2 to look and 1 to see.
Oh my God, I love that.
And the picture is actually like a female, like a silhouette of a female with butterflies as her eyes, and then like a 3rd eye right here. And I'm like, it's right there.
It's been here all along.
Literally right in front of my face. But you know, so that's what I mean. Like, yeah, I just love.
That's amazing. Oh, those stories I live for, when the synchronicities are there, and like it's literally when you stop and take a second, then you're like, oh my God, it's right there. And it's always like that when you like aren't really maybe thinking of it, or you know what I mean? You were just sitting down to watch TV. You were like, whatever. And then there it was. I love that.
All the time. It happens all the time. When you're paying attention, that's the key, right? When you're actually paying attention, the signs are everywhere.
Totally. And I find the more you are aware, and they seem to just pop up all the time, every day, every place. Like I like talking about like angel symbols. Like there's tons, of course, that I see a lot, but numbers, it's actually insane. Like my boyfriend's like, do you see like, you know, 11, 11, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, all of them, all of the numbers. He says, do you always see them? I'm like, yes. I'm like, I don't tell you all the times I see them, because you'd be like, Kate, please stop. I get it. You see them all the time. Yeah. Yeah, but it's true. They're always there. And I feel like when you express your gratitude when you see them, like, okay, let's just tell a story from this morning. I was walking my dog, and like feathers are so magical, right? And I saw a blue heron feather, and I've never seen just the feather. It was the most beautiful feather I've ever seen. It was like a powder blue on the outside. It was gorgeous. I didn't take it. I just like admired it. I didn't even have my phone, so I couldn't even take a picture, but I was like, this is so magical. And I was like, okay, I know my spirits are communicating with me right now. And it was just so nice.
100%. I love that so much. Where were we talking? Oh yeah, what do I do?
Our first squirrel brain moment. We both are very squirrel brainy, everyone. So just, you know, y'all know, you hear it every episode with me, but Amanda and I are a lot alike in that way. So prepare for many stories. Yes.
Yeah. So what I do, meditation and yoga. I teach that. I do one-on-one personal coaching sessions with people. We meditate, we do yoga, we do both. We journal, we do worksheets. We basically do whatever my client needs from me and for themselves. So
I love that.
The reason why I wanted to do one-on-one, Kaylee, is to give people that experience of like really personalized sessions. It's like therapy, right? Like you can download a meditation app, you can go to a group yoga class, but you don't get that one-on-one personal attention that so many people need. And
preach.
I know that my purpose, now that I've figured out my purpose, I know that it really is to help people, to guide them down this journey, to
Yes.
help them get started. So many people don't know where to start.
So
Or
true. And it's so overwhelming. There's so much out there. It's like, what? So to have someone guide, and I just want to say too, like, because yoga is very near and dear to my heart as well. And some of my most emotional healing was through yoga. And I've said this to you too. I'm like, after I'm done like a good yoga class, I literally feel like I'm on drugs because I get into this deep, crazy meditation and it's beautiful and it's amazing. And I know how much yoga helped me heal through some of the most traumatic events of my life. And I love that. Like, and that's, I guess, on my bucket list too, is to also teach yoga because it's such a beautiful experience, not only for the body, but for the spirit and the mind. And I love so much that you're sharing your gifts with people and you're doing it in a way that's accessible to everyone. So it's
100%.
awesome.
That's exactly it, which is another reason why I wanted to do it online, is because like
Mhm.
for someone that works from home, hey, like quick session during their lunch break, or, you know, a single
Yeah.
mom that only has a half an hour while her kid's sleeping and can't get to a yoga studio, or,
Yep.
you know, doesn't have a yoga studio close by, or class times don't work for people. Like
Mhm.
everything, like right down to when your schedule is. You want to get up at 6 a.m.? I mean, I'm already up at 5 to go to the gym. Like, I will gladly not go to the gym that morning if you need me to help you that day.
Yeah,
Right?
100%.
So there's so many benefits to it, but I really just want to help people. I really, really
Yes,
want people to see the importance of this practice and how
100%.
transformative it actually can be. Like when you say, when you feel like you're on drugs doing yoga,
Yeah,
like it's the yoga coma. That's what I call it,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And any yogis listening, you'll know. And like, not every, oh my God, I'm sorry, my dog, he's so cute.
That's
He's like,
okay. My
hey.
cat will probably make an appearance at some point
Oh,
too.
yay. Animal Planet. Love it. Love it. Love it. Oh, it's so true. And like, not every practice per se may get me there, but pretty much if it's the right environment and I'm in the right space, it, it's always like that. I think too, because I'm moving my body, it helps me get into that state. Because I notice a lot of people, they're like, oh, I can't meditate. It's hard for me to turn my brain off. And I'm like, it's a practice. It's not, I mean, maybe some people naturally are good at it, but especially in the
I'm
North
envious of
American,
those people,
right?
right? Like,
North American
if I could get there
society.
every single time, I'd be like, this is like the most amazing life in the world. I mean, how do people do that all the time with so much going on?
Mhm.
And that's what I want other people to know too, is you don't have to every single time. Like, how many
Yeah.
times do you hear people be like, oh, I can't meditate? Well, did you try for 1 minute and then that was it? Like,
Yes.
but you know
And
what,
that's
Haley, that's
it.
how I started. That's literally how I started. Because I was like at first dabbling in here and
Hmm.
there. You know, like I would do a 3 minute meditation and be like, it was okay, but not really. I would like read a page of like a Gabby Bernstein book and be like, yeah, that's kind of cool. And then put it away for a month, you know? So it can
Hmm.
start really slow. Like, I wish I
Totally.
had a coach when I first
Yeah.
started to keep me accountable
100%.
and be like, no, Amanda, keep going. Right?
Yes, because that's it. Like I feel like it's like if they don't see the result instantly, it's like no, it's not like it's like anything at the gym. You're not gonna get those muscles right away. You have to work at it. It's the same with meditation, like especially if you're squirrel brainy like me and Amanda, like we gotta work extra time to get the brain to stop it, like to shut up.
Right.
Shut the fuck up, brain. Like we need time to connect. So
And you
if
know
you're
what?
like,
That's why I love my combo packages of yoga and meditation, because I do the
yeah.
yoga, which will like release like your energy that you have built up in your body by those
Yes.
movements, and then get you into like that meditative state
We're
afterwards.
on the same friggin' wavelength right now because I was literally just about to say what you just said. Like, if you have a hard time just sitting still and getting there, maybe moving your body will help you get into that state. It's very possible.
Totally. So yeah, I'm like, it's the best of both worlds, really. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Okay. I'm getting so excited about this. Okay. So, meditation coach, yoga instructor, it's
Yeah.
virtual. So, I know you have, I've seen all the things. So, tell us like about your website and everything you offer because you offer so much. And I love like your journals and stuff that you offer. It's super cool.
Yeah, so it's really amazing how it's all come together. And I will give some credit, of course, to my web developer. Like we were
Yeah.
talking, Kaylee and I, we were talking before we started recording, we were talking about technology, and I was like, girl,
Yes.
it's not my thing. Like,
Right.
let me do what I'm good at doing and helping people and like get everyone else to do all the other things because it's not my
Preach.
jam.
Preach. Oh, girl, preach. I feel you.
Yeah, so my website is beautiful. My web developer, branding person did such an amazing job. My
Yes.
photographer really captured like the essence of me. Did you see my photos?
Yes, my
Oh,
God, I died. Like she sent me some for our graphic and like I was like, "Oh my God." Like they're
right.
gorgeous. It literally when you think love and light, it's those kinds of photos. Like they're gorgeous.
They
And they
are.
go perfectly with your branding on your site. Like it's just everything. And I'm sorry, I'm getting so excited, but that just shows you when you follow your heart and your path, things just work out.
100%. And it really, when I say it's all coming together, like it really came all together. Like,
Yeah.
um, even like our timing, like, hey, Kaylee, let's get together. And it was so great that night that we hung out. And it just
Yeah.
like our squirrel brains going 100 miles an hour. But just like that
Yeah.
connection and yeah, timing is everything. But yeah, so my website is great. I designed these journals and I am so in love with them. And
Me
one of them I'm
too.
actually giving out as a freebie. So if you go to my Instagram, right now it's a link tree, but I think my web developer
Mhm.
is changing that to go right to my website. But there's a
Yes,
link
for
there
sure.
anyways. There's a link there. Download the freebie. It's a 5-minute journal, a couple prompts for the morning, a couple prompts for the evening. It's enough pages for 2 weeks, and it really gets you started.
Yeah. Is this the
Um,
gratitude journal or is it a different one?
It's the gratitude journal,
Gratitude.
the
Okay,
gratitude
cool.
5-minute journal. Yeah. So, and that's my freebie. And it's funny, and I didn't even realize it's one of those things. It's like people don't know how to journal, and I was like, people don't know how to journal. I had a girlfriend come up here the other day. She saw my own journal on the ground, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I have that journal." It's like one that I bought from Amazon. And I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I love it." She's like, "Yeah, I haven't used it yet." I'm like, "Why?" Like, I just
It's
don't really
hard.
know. And I was like, interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
because
have
I
this
feel like
freebie,
for
right?
me, I've always been into like writing and stuff, so it's very natural for me. And I feel like too, take the pressure off people. Don't think so hard. Let yourself
Totally.
just flow. Like for me too, it's very therapeutic. Just I don't even think sometimes. I'm like, let's just write. And any feelings I'm having, I just bleh, get them on the paper and get it out. And then again, in the gratitude way, when you start your morning with gratitude, it just can shift your mindset immediately for your day, and it's scientifically proven too, so
Yeah.
let's say that science, not
Oh my
not just
God.
me
Yeah. How
talking.
you start your day is like so detrimental to like your life in
Yes.
general, right? Like it literally is how you are going to live your life every single day, how you start it and how you end it,
Yes,
right? Like if you've had a
totally.
shitty day, write about something that was good about it, and that just shifts your perception. And
Yes.
you go to bed happier, you go to bed feeling better, you go to bed looking forward to the next day instead of being like, oh my God,
Mhm.
today sucks and I'm going to go to bed in a shitty mood and I'm going to wake up in a shitty mood. Like
True.
realizing what you're
And
grateful for and what is good in your life is like the key.
yes, it's like it releases those endorphins because it just brings life back into perspective so hard because you
Yeah.
remember, oh, you're not gonna things happen all the time. Like this past week, I've had so many little random things not go great, and I'm like, what is happening? I'm always like, okay, like what's the what are you trying to? What's the lesson? What am I not doing or seeing? But sometimes too, you just have to take the step back and be like, okay, maybe this is just part of life and what is actually good in my life, because the things that happen, of course sometimes there's huge things that happen that rock
Yeah.
us, which we'll get into when we dive into Amanda's story. But the little things that happen, shifting the mindset with gratitude can be a way to kind of bring yourself back to what's important and
Hmm.
like how great your life is, how blessed we
Definitely.
are. Hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Because there's always good things amidst all of the stuff that makes us be like, what the fuck? There's always good things in there. And that's where our thought process comes in and our mindset comes in, is remembering those things, right?
Absolutely, especially when you're an emotional being. Sometimes like it's so challenging because and again, if you're an empath like we are, you absorb other people's stuff. And it's not that you want to, it's just the way we're wired. And like it can get challenging, or there'll be times where you're like, why am I so drained? Or why? And like you have to remember to protect your own self, your mindset, and gratitude is such a great way to do that. It's a great tool.
It really is. Yeah. So I wanted people to have that tool and not have to sign up with me to have it. Like just have it. Like here, like I want you to feel good. So start this, make this like a starting point. You don't know where to start. Here it is. Gift from me to you.
I love that. It shows your beautiful soul too, because you truly want to genuinely help people. And I love that. It's nice.
It really is all I want, Kaylee. And it's taken me a while to really like grasp that. And I guess this could be like an intro into my story, but once you figure out what it is that you really are that passionate about and what you really want to do, and then you actually figure out how to do it, everything falls together and it just starts rolling and you're just like, okay, this is it, right? Like this is what I'm here to do. And
absolutely,
it's incredible.
And sometimes the hardest part is taking the first step because it's overwhelming. Because like we were saying, there's so many avenues and it's like, whoa, like what do I do? Like you kind of might have like the big picture, but you're like, there's so many little parts. Don't get too focused on that. Make the decision first, then take the next step. Like Amanda's was you've built this, you've gotten like your business coach or your website. You know what I mean? Like if you need help too, go find it. Like for instance, Amanda's a coach. Like sometimes we need someone to help us get on the right track. Then we can go.
Exactly. And that's why like I feel like my business is really geared towards people who want to get started but don't really know how, right? And that's why, so like the packages that I offer like basically an intro package. I call it my Align, Rise, and Shine package.
Oh, that's so cute. I love that.
It's a 2-week immersive, 30 minutes, 3 times a week. And that is kind of like what gets you going. It gets you kind of familiar with it. It gets you into the practice. It gets you cultivating the habit. And that's where we really kind of start to build that relationship. And then after that, I have other packages, like I have punch pass packages like you would with a yoga class.
That's
I have like a 3-month package, a 6-month package, kind of like my friend Leah, she has a choose your own adventure. So it's kind of like that, but I don't want to steal her branding names. But it's like that, right? So you choose what you think is best for you. If you're not sure, we can work on it together. But having that first like 2-week intro where you're really like diving in deep, I think is the best start for people who are curious or don't think they can or don't know how or because we can really get into it and then develop that relationship of trust, vulnerability. Building the relationship with a coach is so important. And I offer free consults because I'm not for everybody. You're not for everybody. Nobody is for everybody. And that's okay.
Exactly. I love that you said that because our world needs to remember that. It's not personal. It's just some people like we were saying, we knew we vibe very easily. You know when you vibe with people.
And it's not always like that. And that's okay. We're not meant to connect with everybody.
Exactly.
So I offer these free consultations, not only for people that are kind of curious about the work, but to see like if we vibe and to see if we're like a good fit to work together. Because as a coach, the point is to build trust and to be the more open and the more vulnerable that you can be, the better experience you're going to have. And if you don't have that relationship with your coach, you're not going to get there. And then it's just a waste of both of our times because I want to see your progress. I want to see that what the work that we're doing together is actually helping you change and helping you transform. And if it's not, then I don't feel like I'm doing my job.
Exactly. That's so right. And especially that type of work when you are getting into the nitty gritty and getting vulnerable and sharing things like, some people are very open. They don't mind sharing. There's other people that are not like that at all. So they need to have that safe space. And that's what you are, is a safe space for people because getting vulnerable is not easy, everyone. So I commend all of you doing the work and doing the growth because not easy.
Yeah, no, it's not. And this is part of the reason why I like to share the story. I like to share my story, is because it is very vulnerable. And
Yes. Ooh, I just got goosebumps. Ooh.
I did too. Like, actually.
Weird.
I'm about to do this right now.
Yes.
But it is vulnerable, and it is some parts really difficult to talk about. And a lot of parts about me in the past that I didn't like is hard to open up and share about, right? But because of all this work and because of everything I've done and the growth that I've had, I've released that guilt, I've released that shame, and I can tell my story now because it is what brought me here to this point. And if I can get even just one person from where I was to where I am now,
that's it. Exactly.
you know?
Exactly. And I love that you said the thing about taking the shame away, because I think a lot of us can relate to that. I know I'm not at that point now either, but at one point I was, because, every one of us are human beings. We all make mistakes. We all go through moments where we're figuring ourselves out, or maybe you're dealing with trauma and you're doing it in a different way. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe you're being destructive. Maybe you're not being the best to yourself. I've been all of those things.
100%.
Right? Without those experiences, I just don't know if I would be where I am right now. And I don't regret any of them, because I learned and I knew who I wanted to be and who I am, and those things that rocked me. Thank you. I thank those experiences, because that's how we learn.
It's what got you here. And it's how you become who you are now. Yes. And that's why, like, when you take that shame and you take that guilt and you take all of these negative feelings around who you used to be, that's when you embrace who you are and you're thankful for those experiences. Yes. And it's so empowering. Yeah.
You're reminding me of I call it a meme, but it's something I've seen quite a bit lately. And it's about, I don't know the exact wording of it, but it's like about the past versions of yourself. Like, don't be shameful about them or upset about them or regret them. In those, I don't know the right wording it used. It's like, it got you to where you are now. So each one of those people you've been in the past, that served a purpose. Or, maybe how your trauma responses were, it served you a purpose. It kept you safe. But once you can grow past that, it's so interesting. Like, we were talking about people pleasing, like when we were hanging out. And like lately I've been noticing moments where I am obsessive. Like, if I try to be very friendly to everyone, but sometimes you're in your own space and I'm like, oh my God, did I not say hi nice enough to that person? You know what I mean? I obsess and I think and I'm like, why am I torturing myself over this when nobody cares? It's just me who's freaking out about it. And it's just little things. It's interesting because I know those people-pleasing tendencies I needed at one point, because I was in a chaotic environment that was not safe, and it did keep me safe. But now I'm not in that place, and I'm like, you don't have to do this anymore. You can do what you want, and you don't have to feel bad about it. Because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just found that it's interesting that
I think you can all relate to that people-pleasing thing and to like the anxiety that you get and the overthinking that you get, and like, the reality is, if you were to go up to that person and be like, you know what, I'm so sorry that I said that thing, they'll be like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Like, they've already forgotten about it. And we're sitting here obsessing and driving ourselves crazy over it. And it was like not even a thing for them.
Yes. 100%. 100%. It's so funny that we operate in that way sometimes, because it's like, why am I torturing myself?
Yeah, we are our own worst enemies sometimes, for sure.
Yes.
Like, we need to get out of our own way.
Totally.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, preach. I was like, I don't even know where that squirrel thought came from, but let's go back to the story, girl. Let's hear it.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. Where do I even start? I mean, I spent pretty much my whole life in like massive self-destructive mode. And back then you don't really know why until you start doing the work, and then you're like, okay, this is why. And it's kind of shitty, but it's kind of great. And then it comes really great. And it's an ebb and flow. It's a highs and lows, right? But, I drank all the time. I smoked. I did drugs. I would go from bouts of anorexia to binge eating. I had the worst body image,
Yes.
no self-worth, no self-confidence.
We're the same human, legit.
Oh my gosh, constantly needing attention from other people, men or friends or whoever, just to get that feeling of self-worth. Somebody wants me, somebody wants me, somebody will love me,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
That was my whole
you're
life.
so down on yourself. It's like, okay, let's build my esteem with other things. Yeah, for sure.
Looking for
I
that
totally
outside
get that.
validation. You need that outside validation because you don't have it inwards. And what does it result in? Nothing good. Like I was in abusive relationship after abusive relationship, killing myself at the gym to try and get this body, which is oddly enough where my yoga journey started, but for all the wrong reasons.
Totally.
I want the yoga
Again.
bod. I want the yoga bod.
It's true. When I was younger too, I didn't know what yoga was doing for my spirit. I was so focused on the body when I was quite young. So I totally get that.
Completely. So the obsessive exercising, and again, like the eating habits and anxiety. The anxiety and the depression was next level. There was a point actually where I did try to take my own life.
Oh.
And even that didn't wake me up, right? That's how so low I was in it. That didn't even wake me up. I just like came out of it, and then I just kept going through the motions. I was numb. I was so numb, just avoiding any sort of healing or any sort of positive emotion towards myself or compassion or anything, right? It was just somebody love me, somebody want me, somebody need me. There was one point, Kaylee, where I couldn't even go into a restaurant or a grocery store without having a panic attack.
Oh, babe.
I used to take the bus to work and I would pass out from panic and anxiety.
Wow.
And then, when that happens, it's like obviously like the stuff that goes on in your brain. So then I'm panicking about maybe panicking.
Yes.
A
vicious cycle. Right? Yeah.
And I think back on it now and I'm like, how did I live like this for so long? But I did, and I functioned because that's what we do. We learn how to cope.
It's like sleepwalking through life. It's just you're on autopilot because you're in survival mode. That's what you're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. So a few years ago, like fast forward, my father passed away. And at this point, like I mentioned before, I had kind of like been getting into meditation and like kind of like reading a few books and things like that. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. But like, I'm a forever student. Like I am an avid reader. Like I have so many books in my bookcase. Some I've read, some I still need to read.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm like, if I read all the books, I'll be good and I'll be better and I'll do all the things. But it's like, okay, I read this book and then I put it away and then I forget about everything I've read.
Yes. Oh, it's so true. A lot of those, like you have to put the practice in after. I totally get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually read a book, but Limitless by Jim Quick. And one of the things that he says in there is people say that knowledge equals power, and it's wrong. Knowledge plus action equals power. You can have all the knowledge in the world. If you don't do anything with it, you might as well not even have read it in the first place.
Yeah, it's just sitting in your brain, not doing anything. Yeah.
I think about that. A lot.
I love that.
One of the things that really stuck out in my mind for sure. But anyway, so yeah, my dad passed away, and that was like a downward spiral for me. I don't have a great relationship with the rest of my family, so I very much was like a daddy's girl through and through.
Yes.
And that kind of sent me spiraling downwards as well. And, started back in those destructive habits, started drinking again, started smoking again, didn't get back into drugs. So I have that to be thankful for at least.
Yeah.
But then it was almost like an abandonment issue kind of came back up, right? And so then I'm grasping on and needing attention again, grasping for anything. And this guy came into my life, and I literally knew like all these memes about red flags and like I need a signier sign, like all of these things. Like it was a red freaking parachute. And I was just like, but I love him, right? I mean, it was so ridiculous when I look back at it now. But at that point, that's what I grasped onto, right? Because I was going back into those old habits.
Yes.
And that was what I
Was
knew
this
at
guy?
that time. That was
I was
how I
gonna
knew
say.
how to deal.
Yeah, I was like, was he like a repeat of guys you've dated in the past? Like the
100%. Oh my God.
Mm.
Yeah, 100%. Like we didn't even have a relationship. He was basically using me for sex. And I was like, but we have a real connection.
Yeah.
Right? Like, no, we
Yeah.
don't. But this is the thing too. A lot of people, when they're dealing with stuff like this, mistake sex for connection, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. Because that's
Whole other
such an
topic.
intense
But
thing.
anyway,
Oh yeah, yeah. We're gonna
so,
have a series.
oh my gosh, for real. Part 1. Part 28.
I just pictured us 20 years down the road, and we're at part 1,000.
Oh my gosh, for real. But so what I really wanted to tell you, because this makes me laugh so much, we're talking about signs from the universe, and you have to actually pay attention to know this, that they're there. So a friend of mine had given me a card deck. And at that point, I was like pulling cards every morning. And, you know,
Okay.
yeah, well, they're just like like inspirational cards, right?
Oh,
The
nice.
deck is called Calm the Chaos. I posted some of them on my Instagram as like
I love
reels,
that.
just for like, inspirational things. There is like 52 cards in this deck. And while I was obsessed with this guy that literally did not give a shit about me, I pulled this card and it said, "You can walk away."
Oh my
I was
God.
like, okay, whatever. Kaylee, I pulled the same card out of a 52 card deck for 7 days straight. Okay. And I'm like,
believe
"Oh,
it.
what does this mean?" And the universe is like, oh my God, this chick, like Amanda.
I said what I said. Read the card.
What the hell are you doing? What more can we give you right now?
I 100% can relate to that because in a past relationship, like they were tarot cards, but same idea. The universe communicates like that. And my friend was pulling them for me. And like when you're shuffling and stuff, if they like come out by themselves, leave them because they're meant to come out. So this card aggressively flew out of the deck. Like it wasn't just, it was like, I'm coming out and you're going to look at me. And she was like,
the jumper
yeah,
card.
yeah. She asked, she's like, oh, she's like, I don't know, is this for me or is this for her? Because we weren't really like diving into it yet. She was just kind of like, we were just sitting there. And she turned it over. Amanda, guess what the card said? Not for you. It was for me. Yeah. Because that's what we were inquiring about the whole time. And again, it was with a past relationship too, where I knew in my gut it wasn't working. But, you know, you hang on, you do all the things.
You're grasping, right?
Yeah. And then later.
And that's the thing, you're chasing it so hard. And that like vibrational energy is just like down the
yes,
tube, you know?
exactly. And like a few years later, the breakup finally happened for good. And I did my own cards and it was insane. Just the cards that came out were so dead on that I was making the right choice. And it's, you know, you don't base everything on that, but you know, when you've made a choice and you're just, you know, looking for that extra like confirmation, I was just like, thank you, universe, love you.
Totally. Oh my God, I say that all the time, like literally out loud when I'm walking down the sidewalk and I'm like, I need a sign. And then I'll see like a heart drawn in chalk on the sidewalk and I'm like, thank you, universe. And the guy walking by me is like, what?
Preach. I literally feel like I talk to myself all the time, and I was doing it this morning even when I found that blue hair-on feather, and I was just like, oh my God.
I love it.
So
love
true.
It. So yeah, signs in the universe are a real thing, people. Listen for it, pay attention to it. Don't be like me and be like, what does this mean? When it's so blatantly in your face.
Yeah. It's almost like when we know in our gut it's correct, but we don't logically want to believe it. It's completely. Like you have to get to that place for sure. But what's that other saying? It's like when someone is proving you right, like, you know, if they're doing things that don't align with you, stop giving them reasons to prove you right, because they're not going to prove you wrong. They're going to keep doing those things. So walk away.
And also too, like another one is when people show you who they really are, like listen to them, right? Like literally this guy legitimately said to me, you can do better than me. And I was like, no, I can't. Like,
oh my
again,
gosh.
though, that came with that low self-worth and the low confidence and that need and that outside validation, needing someone to love me because I didn't love myself at that time.
Yeah,
right. And I remember when he ended up leaving my life, obviously, like I knew was going to happen. I remember going to bed and I was so depressed and so upset and crying. And I literally said to the universe, like, I need help. Like, something, please save me right now.
Yes.
And I woke up the next morning and I checked my Instagram. And there was a meme that I had posted like 8 years ago. It came up on my memories, on my Facebook memories. And it said, you can't commit to your growth and your bullshit at the same time. It's one or the other. And I was like,
all right, I see you.
okay, got it. And then literally Kaylee was like, I'm so sick of my own shit. I am so sick of my own bullshit. And that's when I knew that I was ready for change. And then I went over to my Instagram, and the first thing that popped up on my feed was a 21-day meditation challenge.
Perfect.
And I was like, okay, this is what I need. This is what I'm doing. And that's what started my real commitment, not just my dabbling here, dabbling there, but it's like you have these moments and you just know you're ready. When you wake up, say, I am sick of my own bullshit. I need something to change. I'm ready. I'm committed. That's when it happens. That's when you feel that shift, and you have to be ready for it. Because if you're not, you'll start out like I did, and like so many people do, and I'm sure you did too. It's just like, oh, a little double here, a little double there. No, you have to commit. You have to want so badly, because it's hard.
Oh, for sure. And I feel like I feel like you were at that point where you're like, all right, fuck this shit. I am done. Yeah. This is what's up. Because, like, I have been there 100% too. I'm like, I'm either going to go this way or this way. What do I want to do? And I know, your heart and your soul, like, don't think so hard. I think that's our problem is we think too much and we let our cerebral side, like, overpower our inner knowing and our third eye, like exactly like your beautiful business is called. And we have to stop. We have to clarify. And that's why meditation is so beautiful, because it can get you to the place where you're not so cerebral and in your head and overthinking, because overthinking is also the enemy.
Oh, yeah, for real. Like, yeah, honestly, I mean, because we still do it, right? Like, I coach this stuff and I will still find myself overthinking things. And that's when I'm like, okay, I'm going to slow down, right?
Yes.
And I'm at a point where I am so excited to meditate. Like, I'll meditate 3 times a day and I'll be like, this is the freaking best thing in the world, because it really brings you back down to your center and to yourself when you are like in the midst of overwhelm or I mean, I don't get anxiety anymore. I'm like 100% anxiety free, panic free, no panic attacks, no anxiety attacks. But the overwhelm is still there, right?
Yes.
Especially when you take on 523 things at the same time, like I sometimes do, maybe a little bit.
Same here. I am guilty as well. Here's the thing too. When you're on your journey of enlightenment and being better, you're not going to be perfect, which is another thing that I struggle with, is like the perfectionist thing, right? And it's okay to, like, we're both, like, Amanda and I, we're well on our journeys and we've been involved with this kind of thing for quite some time. But like we're saying, we're still human. Like, we still have those human moments. So yeah, don't ever feel bad about that. If you do, it's not like you're just one day like this perfect specimen, blessed light. Like, no,
I'm healed. Yeah. Absolutely not.
Never. Like we always say, healing's not linear.
Ebbs and flows and shifts, right? Exactly. But you know what? It's beautiful. Healing is beautiful. It's hard, but it's beautiful. Yeah. And this whole journey of mine, like since I woke up that day and said, I'm sick of my shit, I'm committing to my growth, I'm committing to my development. Kaylee, I don't even know who that girl was.
Right?
I don't even know who she was anymore. Like I said, I don't have the anxiety and the panic anymore. My perception of life and who I am and the relationships I have and people that I don't even know it's changed so much. That I can confidently say, like, my self-worth has gone from here to here.
Yes.
There's no way I would put up with any of the shit that I used to put up with from family or friends or men or bosses or anyone, right? Like, you just develop this self-worth, and you actually look back and you're like, I can't believe I let people treat me like that.
Yeah.
The shit I put up with, like boundaries are up, self-esteem is up, I have a good relationship with my body. Like I teach yoga now instead of just doing it because I want to look hot.
Yes.
Like, here's the thing. When you need that outside validation to feel good about yourself, you're never going to get it. You're never going to feel good about yourself, right? Like I had the body, I had the hot boyfriend, I had the job, I had all the things I thought was going to make me happy, and I still was not happy. Like I still
the void was
hated
still
myself
there.
inside, right? So
Yeah.
you can't find that from outside sources. You need to find that shit in here, and that's what this work is all about. Because once that happens, I mean, what other people think, you're just like,
you do you, boo.
take it or leave it. This is how I
Yeah.
am. And yeah, if you don't like it, bye.
100%. And I love getting to that point and releasing all the old baggage. And, things, depending how deep the wound is, things may reappear here and there. But what I have found that's really cool is you, like we were saying, how, like, you're never done learning and healing. Like I was just saying about the people pleasing thing, because I needed that at one point. It didn't, I knew it wasn't a good thing, but it was so needed to keep me safe. It wasn't something I looked back on with a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know if anyone's understanding how I'm trying to say this, but when you, like, let's say you overreact in your emotions and you say something, you're like, oh shit, why did I say that?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, something like that. I would look back and I'd feel like, I'd feel so terrible about it. But with people pleasing, it didn't make me feel like that because I was pleasing others. But I was like, girl, you're portraying yourself though. You're pleasing everybody, but you're not pleasing yourself, and that's fucked up. Like, it's just messed up. But what I've noticed is, like, now that stuff's coming up more, which is interesting because I'm like, okay, now I'm working on this part of the puzzle. But even 6 months ago, I was working on something completely different. So I love that part of the journey too. And it's always, even though I know it's going to happen, it still surprises me sometimes when it comes up, how it comes up.
But Kaylee, don't you find now that, like, because things come up always for me too. Like, I just said something to my Spanish instructor last week and I was mortified. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that to him. I'm such an asshole. And like, it irked me for days, right? and again, we were saying before, we overthink all these things, and then you talk to them after and they're like, yeah, it's fine. Like, I had my first lesson since I'm with him this morning and I was like, I am so sorry. He's like, it's okay. And I'm like, are you sure? But then these things come up and we do these things and you get curious about it now. And that's the biggest thing, is instead of being mad at yourself or angry or like we said, like the shame and the guilt and all that, you're curious about it. It's like this curious contemplation. You're like, okay, so why did that come up? How do I feel about it? And that, I feel like, is such an amazing place to get to.
I agree, because it's not like the trigger or the issue is overtaking your entire existence, because you're in a space where you're like, I can analyze you for exactly what you are. You're not me or overtaking me. You're just a part, or maybe you're just a thought that I should never allow in my brain ever again, So I think that's super cool and interesting, because I remember being at a point where my mental health was so, I always say you're in the green to the red, and I was in the red. Like, it wasn't good, and I couldn't handle anything else because every part of my life was just crazy chaos. And to try and decipher those things and everything like that. So make sure your mental's good. You have to be mindful. You always, and again, this comes back to what Amanda does. Grounding the body is step one. People laugh at me when I'm like, breathe. They're like, oh, of course you have to breathe to live. I'm like, no, there's a difference between breathing and intentional breathing. You have to ground your physical form or your brain is like going crazy. So that's another reason why what Amanda does is so impactful and important, because it's bringing it back to basics, guys. Like,
you know what? And that's what it is. And the thing that I love about this work is you can do it anywhere. Like, when we're talking about like overwhelm or our brains are going absolutely nuts, I know so many people that have like crazy hectic jobs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, you know what? When you're feeling like, holy shit, oh my God, like I have this and I have this and I have this and I have that and I can't think straight, close your door, sit in your chair, close your eyes, and do deep breathing for 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, sometimes 3 minutes is all you need, right? And that gets you back down, it grounds you. You can come back out, you can focus better. It calms down your nervous system so that you're not feeling that frantic energy, Oh my God, we all know it.
Oh yeah, totally. And that you are not thinking properly. That's when you're gonna, you're in like a state of fight or flight in that moment. You're not gonna make sound choices. So give yourself a second. Even if you have to leave the room for a minute, that's okay. Do what you got to do to be okay for you. And then you can address everybody else.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Where were we?
We're coming back to the stories. Two squirrel brainers. So we talked about a lot of stuff, but we were talking about the red flag relationship, how once, you had the cards coming out, that was kind of where we were.
Yeah. So, the card, that was hilarious. I still laugh at that. Every time I pull this deck, I'm like, I swear to God, if I pull this card, I'm going to lose my mind. Can you give me something else now, please? But yeah, so that was when the journey started. That was when the healing started. That was when I actually did the work instead of just reading the books. And like I said, I wish I had had a coach at that point, because it would have been so beneficial for someone to be able to guide me instead of just kind of guessing it myself. And I think that's a big part of the reason why I decided to do what I'm doing now, is to be able to be that person for other people. And that came about kind of the same as my name. Because once I started this journey and once I started to feel better, and like, I realized that I wanted to help people. I realized that was my calling. I've worked in corporate offices my whole life as an executive assistant. Then I went and got my HR diploma, and I was working as a director of admin, making good money, putting on a suit and the heels every day and all these things. And I literally started feeling, because as we shift as people, we start realigning with places, people, and things, right?
Yep.
And like, exactly. And like everything about my life started feeling unaligned. I was like, oh my God.
And you can feel that, like, if something's sucking your soul out, you're like, okay.
And this
like,
is when you let people go, right? Well, this is when you let people go to make space for new people to come in. And, those people always served a purpose.
Yeah.
And they're great. And it goes back to like reflecting back and all the situations and all the people and all the heartache and all the emotions that you felt. It is all what brought you here as this person. And so I started feeling really unaligned. I felt like I was playing dress up every day when I got up to go to work. Like, it just wasn't who I was anymore. And I knew that I wanted to help people. But I didn't know how. And that was the thing. I'm like, okay, what should I do? And I was getting all excited about it. Like, okay, I'm going to help people. What am I going to do? And I was like, I could do this. I could do that. Like, but nothing was really like resonating, right? And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to give it up to the universe, and it'll come to me, and let it go, right? Stop trying to force it.
Yes. I love that you said that, because I can relate to you so much. My brain, I'm like, I want to do everything. I have 5 million ideas and I'm going to do them all. No, you're not. Like, maybe one day, but start with one and then go from there.
Oh no, I'm like, start with 10.
Right, well, no, that's me too. And that's why, like, I would start a million things and nothing would come to fruition, because I'm like, you can't divide yourself that many ways. But I feel like, start with one, but then it could grow into all those other things. So
that's one thing that I've learned with this process was starting a business, right? When you have 15,000 things on a piece of paper to do, and I'm like, okay, one thing at a time. And that's been like a really big learning curve for me too. And like, my personal development is actually slowing down. And Gabby Bernstein says, slow down to speed up. And I kind of got it when I first heard that. I was like, oh yeah, that sounds pretty cool. And now I'm like, now I know exactly what she's talking about.
Oh, so true. Because like, I've been through burnout in the past. It's not worth it. The healing process from that, for me personally, took 10 times longer than the process of getting burnt out. It just, take care of yourself, people, and let yourself rest. Stop listening to this North American.
Please let yourself rest.
Yes, the hustle, work more. Yeah, sure, work hard. I am a hard worker too, but If you don't honor yourself, you're not going to be able to work that hard very long because you will burn out. So take care of yourself, peeps.
You know, it's funny, like we live in this society that puts so much pressure on us to not take rest. Like this hashtag no days off. Like, fuck that. Okay. Like, take all the days off that you need.
Mic drop. Yes.
Right? Seriously, stop saying no days off. It's bullshit and it does not help anyone.
Doesn't work. Even with your body, for instance, if you go to F45, that's a high intensity workout. I am telling you right now, if you go 7 days a week, you're not going to get stronger. You need to rest because your muscles need to recover. They're going to scream at you. And if you take that day off, I guarantee your next day back, you'll have so much energy. You will crush your workout. You will PR. You'll be like, oh.
The difference is incredible. And like, Kaylee, that was me. Like when I first started at 45, I gave up yoga. Because I was like, hey, I'm not getting the results I want. This was like during that phase, right? Not getting the results I want. I need harder. I need more. I need more. Started going to F45. Slowly started getting more and more injured, so sore, so injured, all these things. And my body's literally screaming at me, right? Like, can you please stretch me? I'm in pain.
Yes.
I'm like, no days off, no days off. Like, no days off is such bullshit. I cannot even like stop normalizing no days off, people. Please take a freaking day off. It's mandatory. It's a mandatory. I'm making that a new thing. It is a mandatory. A mandatory.
I love that.
Stop saying no days off.
A mandatory. Okay, that better be one of your new business hashtags / workshops. It's a mandatory.
It's gonna have to be. I think we just came up with a brilliant idea.
I'm here for it. I love it. I love a good wordplay. I'm literally writing it down right now.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love it. Hilarious. So, Kaylee, like at the end of the day, this story, it's what got me here. It's what got me with this passion to help people, this passion to guide people into transformation and change, because I believe in it so much, because I know where it brought me. And I know that I can help people get from where I was to where I am. And that is literally like my purpose on this planet. And that's why I'm here, right? That's why I'm here doing what I'm doing. Like, I quit my job. I quit my 9-to-5 corporate job.
I was waiting for you to tell them.
I want to give my 100% focus to this. Like,
you're all in. That's when the universe provides. When you take those risks.
Yeah. And that's how much I believe in me, which is crazy.
I wish people like could see me right now, because I'm just like, yes, yes, yes. When you believe in yourself with that much conviction, you will be rewarded. And I am so inspired by you, because I need that bravery in my life too. Because like, you know, I feel like I've been brave in a lot of ways, but in that particular way, I'm like, yeah, I need to get that going. And I can feel things shifting, but hearing your story inspires me so much. And yeah, I was literally waiting. I was like, when's she going to tell them she quit? Literally, guys, the day that her and I met up for happy hour, she was like, so I quit my job today. I was like,
I'm like, hi, how are you? Oh my God, it's so good to see you. We were talking for like an hour, I think. And then I was like, so by the way, I just gave my notice of my job like an hour before I met you.
I was like, we're celebrating something completely different now. At first, it was just because we got together. Now I'm like, okay, let's get more rounds. Like, let's go.
So remember, Kaylee, that day, I had just quit my job. We met up for happy hour. And all of my old bosses started coming into this restaurant. Okay,
guys, it was
from like
wild.
A previous job, from another previous job, from like, it was like a reunion of every boss I've ever had in this restaurant. And I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, I don't understand what's happening. And then this like comes back to this point, and I feel like this was literally like, these are all the people that brought you to where you are right now. The day I quit my job, all my old bosses gather. It was like a celebration of me. Like, now I'm my boss. Now I am my boss.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that wild?
I love that. I love it so much.
That was crazy.
That day was just a lot of really funny events. Like we were joking. We're like, our energies together are magic. I'm like, yes, they are, because it was just, we have lots of funny stories from that day. But it was funny because she's like, so, because she would say hi, obviously, and introduce me, and then after it would be like, and that was another one of our old bosses. I was like, what? So wild. What
On
a
the
day
inside, I'm
that
like,
was.
I don't know what this means, but I'm just gonna go with it and I'll figure it out
Yeah.
later.
I feel like it was almost like, you know how they say, like, your life flashes before your eyes, like sometimes with things. This is like you're at this place, and it's like all your old past versions of you all came through the door. Like,
My God, for real. But it goes like back into like this feeling of like being unfulfilled in your life and trying to find that outside validation, right? I'm going from job to job because I think it's the jobs or the companies or the people that are not fulfilling me, but really it's what I'm doing.
exactly.
Right? I wasn't meant to be a HR manager. I wasn't meant to be an executive assistant. I am meant to help people. And
Yes.
those are the people that led me to where I am now. And that is so crazy. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, because I feel like that was such an epic day for you anyway. Like quitting your job's a big deal, especially we live in Vancouver, guys. It's a big deal. So quit your
Well, for
job
now,
when you live in this
anyways.
city. Yes. Well, yeah, I was gonna say, I will go right into like what are your plans for the future with you and your business? I already know, but let's let
Yeah.
everyone else know.
Oh my gosh. So the reason why also I wanted to do this online was for a lot of reasons. And like it was when I first thought about it, to benefit people, to benefit my clients, right? Like people are comfortable in their own homes. And like I had said before, also too, a lot of people don't have a lot of time, right? And traveling to a place takes up time. Studio schedules are on their time. So I really, really see the benefit of doing this online so they can be comfortable in their own home, in their own safe space. They can go in their car and meditate with me in their car. Like they can go into their bathroom if that's the only quiet space they have in their house. Like that's the thing with this is they can do it anywhere.
If pandemic taught us anything, it's the beauty of having virtual services. Because like if shit hits the fan in the world, Amanda's still good. She can still offer her stuff. So I wanted to add that in, especially now. It's so good.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, isn't it crazy how, because we talk so much about connection and things like that, and now we really do connect in a way that's virtual, but thank God we have that.
Yes, I agree.
Right? Thank God we have like progressed to this where we can have these face-to-face meetings virtually, like it's so much better than just like talking on the phone or whatever, like having that,
it's
visual.
the freedom. Yes, the freedom to connect with someone anywhere in the world, which, I don't know. Where in the world are you going to be soon, miss?
So I decided while I was on this path of realigning my life with what I was doing that I don't really resonate with Vancouver anymore either. It's not just what I was doing, it's where I am. And I grew up here.
Yep.
And just seeing how much it's changed and seeing how much I've changed, I don't align with Vancouver anymore. I don't even think I align with Canada anymore. So I am moving to Nicaragua November 1st.
I'm so excited for you. Like,
I am so excited for me. Thank you.
It's going to be magical. It's going to be magical. Like I did a yoga retreat in Costa Rica. I know that's a different country, but it's the same area.
Right,
so I feel like,
yeah.
I feel like the vibe is probably similar, and I loved it so much there. I was like, I could live here. I could do yoga and surf every day. The food, the people, everything, just amazing. So I'm so excited.
For me, it is all about simplicity and being humble. And I feel like maybe that is part of the thing that I am not really aligning with Vancouver anymore, because Vancouver and Canada and the States, all of these first world countries, really, like we are all very much unhappy with what we have, and we always want more, right? We want more and we want it now.
Yeah,
Amazon, perfect example. How many times have you ordered something from Amazon? You're like, I'm not going to get this for 3 days. That's bullshit. Like, what?
Right?
It's coming from the other side of the world. Give it like a day, okay?
Yeah. Oh, preach on that, girl.
and just
Yeah.
always wanting more. Like I look around my apartment, I'm like, I have so much shit in here that I don't need, that I don't want, that I bought. Why? Because I was probably bored one day and thought I needed
Yeah.
it instead of
And
doing
that little
something
instant
to
gratification when you
avoid.
buy something. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like the impulsive side for me takes over sometimes. But one
Oh
thing
yeah.
I found when I moved here, I downsized so much and that
Yeah.
purge felt so good. I was like, I don't miss anything. I literally don't miss anything.
No. I always have said the only good thing about having to move is that you get rid of so much of your crap that you
Yeah.
honestly forgot you had,
Mm-hmm.
right? Junk drawers, that should not even be a thing.
Right? And for me, it's clothes. Like I love clothes so much, but I'm like, girl, when's the last time you wore this?
Okay, I have to sell so many of my clothes. Like I'm literally leaving, Kaylee. Like I'm not just going on vacation. I am packing up my
One-way
apartment. I'm
ticket.
selling all my stuff. I am packing one suitcase and like I'm out of here.
I love it. I'm so excited for you. I
Thank
love an
you.
adventure and I've done it before too, moving to different countries and I'm like, hey, bye. And it's so
Goodbye, exactly.
good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm done. I need to be somewhere else now. And I know I just can feel it in my bones that you're going to have the most magical experience. And I know it's where you're supposed to be. Like I can feel that for you.
I
And
agree.
it just aligns so much with everything you're doing. I can't wait to, I'm like, I'm coming to visit, show me all the pictures. I want to see
For sure.
everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I have a little apartment that I have rented for the first 3 months, 2 blocks away from the beach, cute little rooftop patio, $400 a month.
That's amazing. Like, oh, it makes me
And that's
cringe when
probably
I just,
expensive for there because I rented it from an Airbnb.
yeah, I just thought of how much we pay here and I was like, ugh, like it makes me want to vomit. So I love.
My damage deposit that I'm going to get back from my apartment here is going to pay for 2 months of my rent down there.
Exactly.
I live in a studio. I don't even have a bedroom.
Yeah. And like, I'm sorry, that just shows how fucked up this world can be. The fact that we pay what we pay to live where we live, I'm
I
sorry,
know.
but there's not one part of my soul that thinks that's appropriate.
Absolutely not. It's ludicrous.
It is ludicrous. 100%. 100%. Oh my God. So Nicaragua, I'm so excited. Like, and
Thank
that's why
you.
Amanda, she's been taking Spanish with her teacher. So she's been
Yeah.
preparing.
Yeah, I take Spanish lessons every morning. Well, no, sorry, not every morning. 4 times a week. So my days, like I feel like I've already had a day before my day actually starts, which is why I'm excited for like my job to be done and just to give full focus to my business.
Yes.
I feel like I'm still gonna wake up at 5. I'm still gonna like kind of keep that routine, get to the gym, do my thing, come home, do my yoga, do my Spanish lessons because I'm still working. It's not like, oh, I quit my job and now I have all the time in the world. Like, no, girl, like I still have to like run a business, right?
Yep. Oh, exactly. And like to have that time, I could just like I think about it often myself because I still have a full-time job as well. And I'm like, my God, the things I could accomplish if,
Oh my
because that's an
gosh.
exertion of your energy too, like especially if it's a high stress environment, all these things. So to have that time, and I love that you're keeping your morning routines. Like we said earlier, your morning routine can make a huge, like when I wake up to chaos, it's not good for me. Like when
No,
I
it's not for
get my
anyone.
gym time or yoga and have my coffee, I love my coffee in the morning to just not deal with everybody else. Like,
Yeah, it's 100%. When you wake up, and this is why it frazzles me so much when I'm in like this deepest sleep and my alarm goes off and I'm like, oh, what's going on? What's happening? Right?
I actually had to change my iPhone alarm from that crazy, awful sound, the thing.
Awful. That is
Yeah,
so
I had to change it because, like, okay, there was one time. This is a funny story. I have to tell it. This was after I had changed it, but I must have PTSD from that sound because I was at my boyfriend's house and I was falling asleep, but we were watching TV, and on the movie or show, that sound came on. I jumped up so fast thinking it was my phone, and I was looking everywhere. I was so confused. He was like, "It's on the TV. It's not your phone." But that noise, I cannot. I
Like,
can't.
seriously, it's awful. It should not ever have been made.
No, I can't. It's so like there's a funny video meme about that actually. It's like when Samsung phone users alarm goes off, it's like do 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 like this happy music and it shows the guy dancing and then it's like when iPhone is like man, it was like all these red lights and everything's awful. I was like, yeah.
Totally. Like,
That's
who
what it
decided
is.
that that was a nice way for people to wake up?
No, there's actually another. I'm giving people tips on the iPhone right now in case they're not
Yeah.
aware. There's a thing called like the bedtime. I don't know if it's still on the newest thing, but it should be. And there it gradually brings the sound in slowly. And there's like a bird chirping one.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
that
yeah.
one. It was very slow and then it eventually gets louder.
Yeah.
Best way to wake up, guys.
100%. Completely.
Change
I
your
always saw
alarm.
like those like what were they? The lights that you like would gradually light up your room. I thought
Mhm.
those are pretty cool. But now like it's summer and well, sort of. And I go to bed when it's light out because
Yes.
I wake up at 5. So I bought like a pink satin sleep mask, right?
Yeah.
So bright in my apartment. I'm like, I go to bed at 9. And now when I wake up, it's already light out. So that's kind of nice. Like I do wake
Yes.
up and the birds are chirping and it's great. And at first it was like kind of PTSD from like my old drug days when I would still be awake and the birds
Yes.
started chirping. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But now I'm
What
like,
am I
oh, this is
doing?
so nice. Totally
Yeah.
different experience.
Right? And that just shows like the chapters of life and like the things that we used to do. And like, again, no shame, those versions
And
of
that's
us
what
were
I
there
love
for a
the most,
reason.
like what we said earlier about like the shame and the guilt and all that kind of stuff. Now I can literally laugh at myself about it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Be like, thank God I'm not doing that anymore.
Thank God, actually. Thank God. My girlfriend sent me a meme the other day and it said something like, imagine what our lives would be like if we didn't get hungover. And I'm like, that was called my 20s and it was a fucking disaster.
Never doing that again.
Literally never. Thank God I would get hungover all the time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's so funny. Like even when we met for happy hour, I felt like one drink. I was like, woo, hello.
Right? When you don't drink that much anymore, like you forget, like it hits you fast, especially the wine. I think that's the thing.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It's like, okay, I feel it. And my face gets red when I drink wine too. I'm like, all right, the cheeks are flushed. She's here.
I love
Oh,
it.
I love it so, so much. Do you have any
Yeah.
final words of wisdom for us? I feel like you dropped so much, but
Oh gosh, I've listened to your other episodes, so I knew you were gonna ask me this. And I
yes.
was like, oh my God, I have so many things that I want to tell people. Like I have so many messages. Like, how do
Let's hear
I
it.
combine all of it into one thing? And I mean, the biggest theme of it all really comes down to it all starts with you.
Yeah.
Everything in your life starts with you. Every thought you have, every action you take, every reaction you have, every choice you make determines whether you grow or whether you stay stuck. And it doesn't matter what your job is, what your relationship is, what your financial situation is, what you look like, how much you weigh. None of that shit matters because at the end of the day, it's all in here.
Preach.
And if you decide what kind of life you want and the kind of person that you want to be and the way you want to live, and you start aligning those thoughts and those actions and those choices with that, I mean, that's where the magic happens.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
I love
I also
that.
thought it would be kind of fun if I pulled a card to end our session from my Calm the Chaos deck.
Oh my gosh,
This is
yes.
what it looks like. It's my favorite deck. I love it so much.
It looks
And it's
cool.
really pretty and sparkly, so obviously we love it.
Yes. Words, magic words to my ears. Yes.
Right? Yeah. It's all about the sparkle.
I
So
love the
let's
sparkle.
ground ourselves a little here. Shuffle this deck. Okay. Of course. No, it doesn't say you can walk away.
I was like, what?
Your life is your own to create.
Oh, yes. Okay, that resonates with exactly what we talked about today. Thanks, universe. We see you.
Exactly. Thank you, Kaylee, so much for having me.
Oh, I want to plug in all the ways people can reach you too.
Oh,
So if you
yeah.
resonated with Amanda, she's going to give us her socials, her website. So there'll be lots of ways we can find her.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, obviously. So my Instagram is at the Third Eye Butterfly. And also my website, it's all the same. Facebook, the Third Eye Butterfly page. That's not really so much up to date as my Instagram, kind of one of those things that I have to work on, but it is there. And my website is www.thethirdeyebutterfly.com.
Love it. Easy peasy. There'll be no ways to forget that. That's perfect.
No conscious misspelling, conscious.
Yeah. Oh, that would mess me up too. It's good you knew that though. You were like, nope, that does not align.
No, does not resonate at all. I don't even know how to spell it.
Oh, I love it. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to. Of course, it was such a good conversation. I already knew it would be amazing, but I'm just so happy to share the beautiful work you do with everyone because it's important and it's been so life-changing for the both of us who've had so many seasons of life. And it's for everybody. There's no skill level required. It's just show up as you are.
There's no such thing as I can't. I mean, take that vocabulary out of your life for anything. Like, stop saying I can't, because you can do literally anything you want. So just cut that word out. Yeah. Cut no days off out. Cut it all out.
We ain't got no time for that stuff.
No time. Literally none.
Oh, it's so good. Well, thank you again. Like I said, I feel like we could literally talk for 5 hours. So.
Oh my gosh, for real. Yeah, definitely 500-part series, Amanda and Kaylee. Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. But we'll have to do, seriously though, like an update once you're in Nicaragua and stuff.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah,
I'd love to keep everyone up your journey because I'm excited about it and I'm sure the listeners will be too. So it'll be awesome.
I'd love to.
Well, that's our tea time for today, everyone. If you resonated with Amanda, all of her stuff will be linked. Like if you're on YouTube, it'll be in the description box. Podcast, it's all going to be linked via my Instagram. If you are listening on YouTube, like, subscribe. It'll help build our community. Podcast, give us a rating, subscribe there. And I just appreciate every single one of you tuning in. It really does mean a lot to bring all this awesome energy together and tell our stories and connect ourselves with the world. So that's our tea time. I'm wishing you all love and light, and we will see you next time.